Well, car attacks have become a new wave of terrorism around the world.
These vehicle ramming incidents are different than hijackings in the 1970s, 9/11, even the Boston bombing. Team 12's Antonia Mejia joins us from the Live Alert Center with how some terrorists are changing their tactics. Antonia?
Guys, and one law enforcement specialist explains that decades ago there would be hijackings and demands that criminals would make to get their messages out. Now they're using more practical methods and even the media to cause the highest amount of harm possible and get their message out.
The New York attack, according to a former law enforcement investigator, is an example of the latest tactics terrorists are using.
Vehicles seem to be the weapon of choice at the moment. This continually evolves.
In her 22 years of crime fighting,
they can easily get a hold of vehicles.
Isabella Maldonado tells 12 News terrorists are using what she calls the low-tech approach.
Box cutters, rifles, vehicles, and things like that. It doesn't require a huge amount of resources.
And without having to know much, Maldonado says terrorists are still able to cause maximum harm.
They're looking for mass casualties, or they're looking to try to make headlines.
In today's world, the formal official believes terrorists use around-the-clock news networks and social media to get out their message.
And by upsetting people and by causing people to be afraid, this way people will be thinking about them all the time.
But how much of a target could the Valley of the Sun be? Because
of the nature of these kinds of attacks, when you're talking about a vehicle into a large crowd or a bomb placed strategically along in an area where there's a large crowd, that does require a gathering in a city. And so in Arizona, we don't have that many major metropolitan areas. And so obviously things can happen even in rural areas, but when you're looking for larger casualties, you will gravitate toward that.
According to the Center for Investigative Reporting, over the last 2 decades, guns and explosives have remained by far the most common weapon used by terror suspects on U.S. soil in dozens of cases. Now, the idea of a vehicle used as a weapon, it's less common. This is the 4th such case in that time period. We're live in the Alert Center. Antonia Mejia, 12 News.